Okay, hello everybody. So before we go do anything, I'm just going to check that I am in the right group and that we can see myself and the beautiful Natasha. And we can. It's so exciting. Okay, let me just like it. Okay, perfect. So before we go, there we go. Perfect. So, hello everybody. Is this okay? Okay, so hello. So today we are doing the next day in the Heal and Release program, or whatever you're watching this. But today we are doing a video, an interview with our beautiful Natasha Natasha Archer. I keep calling Natasha Coach because I keep seeing your Instagram of Natasha Archer Coach. So that's just why I keep seeing that. But so Natasha is a beautiful, is it pediatric nurse?
Yes.
Yeah, so pediatric nurse, and I'm not quite sure how we crossed paths. I think we might have been in another group, yeah. So Natasha is a pediatric nurse, and I think it was already a coach. Well, you can tell maybe a little bit about the journey of how you joined, but essentially you came and joined our Wealthy Warrior Legacy Creators program, so our entrepreneurship program. So we're just going to be talking all about that today. So why don't you tell me about how you are, first of all, and how you came across my work, or what you were looking for as well.
So first of all, hello everybody, and thank you for having me here, Dr. Vidya. And yeah, I think we crossed paths in a mutual group that we're in, and then I saw some of your work and was like, I like the way you speak. So I hopped on into your world, looked at your Facebook group, and I was like, okay, I'll join. Joined, and then we had a conversation, and it was like a quick, I think it was over like a weekend period, and I was like, yes, I'm in, I'm joining, and I did, and that was literally how it happened, so quick in a whirlwind.
Yes.
But it's been like the best decision ever, and I don't regret a thing.
Great, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I think you were in. I think I was doing a masterclass, wasn't I? I think it was December 2021.
Yeah.
And I was doing a masterclass. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was actually called Create Your, at that time, 10K per month coaching program or something like that. And then now it's 30K. But because I think you were in that, and you also won the prize draw, I think, because you were
Yes.
shared. Yeah, so there's a graphic that I always put out that you can share to win the prize draw. So yeah, and then we jumped in Messenger and voice calls and things like that, and you joined. So how did you find? So it's a Wealthy Warrior Legacy Creators program. So how did you find it? What was your experience of it? And yeah, I'd love to let you, if someone's sort of like, looking at that, to the journey that you're on, what would you say to them?
I'll tell them not to hesitate, to just do it. I think a lot of the time we hold our own self back from thinking, oh, what if I do this? Is it going to actually work for me? Because I have been in other programs before, and I've done other coaching strategies, master classes, and they were all good, but they weren't my style, my teaching style, the way I like to learn. And then when I joined the Wealthy Warriors Legacy Academy, is it called now? The name is like changed.
Yes, world domination.
Yeah, we'll change it to the academy now.
Oh,
Official. But yeah, so when I joined, it was the way that you brought it down to earth and you spoke about reality. You didn't sugarcoat it and say, you know what, you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and hit 10K. You're going to wake up for the next day and you're going to hit 20K. You broke it down and said, look, there's going to be struggles. There's going to be times when you're going to want to quit, but those are the times you have to push through. And you told us how to push through it through doing the one that I loved the best was when you said, write down all your negative thoughts and burn it.
Yes.
Now, for somebody who has so much candles in her house, that was me. I was like, I'm happy to burn it. I'll burn it. And then just burning it and then restructuring that negative to a positive, life changing, life changing.
Yes. And that's the thing, it's very much about, and thank you for sharing that, because it is this, I mean, I think we, especially if we're, being entrepreneurs, and if you are an entrepreneur watching this, you probably have spent all those hours, Googling, and you've done all the free PDFs, and you've probably already enrolled in certain coaching programs. And, I'm never one to bring things down, because everything adds a layer, right? Everything adds a layer of knowledge. I don't think anyone's done something which hasn't been useful at all. So everything adds a layer. And then we get to a point where we're like, okay, I think I'm kind of like, I'm kind of done with that chapter. And it may be well before, if it's meant to be like a 6-month program, maybe you may find that point at 3 months, who knows, right? Because you know yourself well. But I think what I found really helpful, which was not really in an entrepreneurship program, it was more in a healing program around kind of holistic health and therapy and that kind of thing, which I was doing more as a, not even as a doctor, but just as a healer, or whatever word works. And it was very much about embodiment, right? Being, not just doing, but being that version of Natasha, of ourselves, who has the end goal achieved and in the present. So not, I mean, yes, the material things, which I don't think is anything bad at all, because we live in the material world, but the beingness, right? We're human beings. So what is it that I am being, not just doing, in that version of me that has the end goal and now? So what does that feel like? And it's this beautiful book, Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard. And it's all about how it's very much not just what you can see on the screen of the mind, but what you can feel. So for me, it was very much about bringing in the feeling, or some people refer to it as divine feminine, or spirit, or source, or faith, or whatever works for you, but very much that into the sort of masculine strategy. There's nothing to do with gender, but it's to do with the feeling. We all have that, right? What was it that you found useful in, because you said it was about your style of learning, your way of learning? So what was the learning methodology that for you found really beneficial?
So there was always something to follow on from every single session. You gave a task, you gave a challenge. This is what I would like you to do. And you always gave the option. If you don't do it, it's your choice. But this is what I'm saying. It will help to get you to that next level. And for me, I like to have the action to take, because it's all while people talking at me. But when I have been told, okay, this is a good tip to take on board, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go do that. And I found that after every session, I would go and just do it without even thinking about it. And like you said, it's like, as females as well, we live so much in the masculine sometimes, of the getting it stuff done. You need to do this. Oh, I've gone to work, so I need to come home and do dun, dun, dun. You got this list, and you forget the feminine completely. And being able to be in touch with that feminine side and be like, you know what, today, now I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to be me and enjoy being me. And going live, I never used to want to go live as often. And you were like, come on, you can do this. You've got this. You've got the energy. Just do it. So I opened up a group and I was like, I'm going live. Don't care who listens. Don't care who's going to be there. If nobody's there, fine. I go live anyway, and just talk and be natural. There's no, oh, I've got to get my script out and read my script. It was just, I'm just being me, and I'm enjoying being me and sharing the real Natasha, the Natasha who's a single mother, who's now become a published author, who's a nurse, who works night shifts, day shifts, who's a confidence coach for women in business. All my hats came on at once, and I was like, here I am. Talk to me, be with me. If you don't like my energy, that's perfect. With love and light, you can leave, and those who are drawn to me can come and attach to my world. And that's just the vibe that it's been from day one, from joining your program, and seeing the way that you were able to coach other people through stuff. I'm like, oh, I like how you've worded that and take it on board. And I think the fact that we're both spiritual, and obviously I'm a Christian and everything, and that it just interlocked, and we knew that there's a higher force and that God's always there working with us. And I always feel like if I don't put God in everything, then there's no point in me doing it. And then when you were coming out with the whole spiritual side of everything, I was like, yep, it's touched that part of me. I'm aligned. I need to go forward and do it. And then that's where it just molded into such a good relationship. I mean, we still message every now and again just to check on each other. And that is just, that's what it's all about, right? It's all about building that relationship. It's not just about a transaction of, I'm selling a course, you buy it. Once you're done, you disappear. It's building that continual relationship, and this checking in every now and again. You would just message me and say, oh, I loved your post today, and I would like, oh, I love this today. And that's the bond that I love that we've got, and that's what you get from joining this whole wealthy warriors legacy. You get that bond with Dr. Vidya, and yeah, I can't even speak highly enough. It is priceless.
Heart chakra meditation is like, heart chakra is going all out there. Thank you. That means so much to me, because this is everything you're saying is what I visualized into meditation 6 months ago. Okay, or maybe not 6 months ago, before you joined. And this is what I mean, this embodiment work. because it's not just we meditate and then that's it. It's the faith expressed action from that frequency. Because then you have belief. You're like, okay, this is like I'm doing God's work or spirit's work, or whatever word works. But then it's also kind of like, oh, okay, it's like whether you call it Christ consciousness or wealth consciousness, or sometimes people call it Krishna consciousness, but it's all like, Google Maps. It's like different routes. It's the same. And often the journey is kind of going like this. It's kind of the same thing. It's just like, just calling it different things. But the vibration is the same. And this is the work that we do, because it's all well saying, yeah, go live every day, for this and that. But if it doesn't suit somebody's personality, it's that energy. Like, yes, they can increase their energy, increase confidence and all of those things. But there may be, a whole cohort of different people, maybe introverts, right, who are like, oh, I love how you did it, and it wasn't videos, and they may be more into like the long style Facebook post or like a blog or whatever, whatever else. Like one of my clients, maybe she's an artist, right, so she does a lot in terms of artwork, and then like some words around the art, and it's just beautiful. So yes, all of this is exactly what I visualized, including some of the words that you used and spirituality and all of those things, because for me that was so important as well. Because I really love this feeling of it being a mission, but not one of sacrifice, right? Like, I think being a nurse and a doctor, especially NHS, I was like, I'm kind of done with that now. I was like, does it always need to be like sacrifice? Like, why? And is it bad to earn money? And that can almost be in like, even like someone like the kind of religious background, like, is it okay? And even being a nurse and a doctor in the NHS, like, is it okay to earn money? And because we're so much surrounded by like NHS crisis. And even sometimes the way that we are introduced into, like, we're not going to religion, but so it really forms a certain money mindset. And that sometimes comes down to deservedness and self-worth. And am I doing like something wrong? Because obviously, how can you run a business, right? But when we transform that into like this mission, but we are living a joyful, wealthy life along the way. And when I say wealthy, it's also the wealth consciousness, right? So it's wealth in our spirituality. You can have prosperity in the mind with $10 in the bank account, right? And with the inner knowing that there's more coming, and in your health and in your relationships and self-love and everything else. And the more we earn, the more that we can share, the more we can have like, YouTube editors and virtual assistants, and the way we can get more of our message out there, right? Paying for software like this, that we can come together and all of those things so that more people can see it. So there is huge value in that. So all of this, like exactly what you're saying is what I was visualizing. I was writing down like my ideal client, and not just even client. There's nothing wrong with it, but there was a time it felt like, is it okay to call somebody a client? Like, so patience. But yeah, so client, and then what does that mean? And I actually wrote down soul sister. It's a soul family. Like, that's what I said. So I was like, I want it to feel like family. And you're like, yes, it's a business and we want, peaceful profits, but they are also, I'm transforming my life so that they are then transforming other people's lives in their way, and they're also, becoming millionaires, and and so it's just a ripple effect.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I definitely love the part where you said it's not just about the wealth. Like, being wealthy is more than just the physical cash. It's actually having the freedom, financial freedom, emotional freedom, intellectual freedom, being able to reduce my nursing hours when I want to, increase them when I want to, is been such a benefit for me and my family. I've been able to attend my son's parents' evenings, his school plays, whereas before, when I'm doing night shifts and long days, I was like, I can't go, I can't make it, I'm gonna have to sleep, oh, I'm working on the shift, and I felt that mum guilt hit me. But now I'm like, yeah, whatever's happening at school, I am there, because I can move my schedule around, and I just love it. And I love the fact that I can pick up my phone and be like, I'm gonna go live today within my business, like my business. I've got a business, what the heck, I have got a business, I can do what I want to do as the CEO. I can go live when I want to. If something comes up last minute, I can go onto my group and be like, I've got to reschedule, something's come up, don't worry, everything's okay, but I'll be back soon. And I can take that break. And you put it in place where, just by being you and showing that you're entitled to have that free time with your family, include your kids and your husband and everything you do, without feeling guilty for taking a step back or a day off. Because if you take a day off, the business it's not gonna crash, it's not gonna go downhill. You're just taking a day off.
Yeah.
And you can do it freely without the consciousness of thinking, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I have to. It's changing that mindset and that wording and saying, I get to do this, I get to do that. You don't have to do anything, you get to do it, you get the pleasure of doing it. And I love the fact that I've got that freedom now, where this week I've upped my nursing hours because I felt like it, because I know the practice I'm at needs the help and support while their nurse is off because she broke her arm. So I'm like, I'm willing, I'm not doing much at home, so I'll come in and I'll give you a hand. So I'm helping them out. Next week I might just drop it back down to 2 days and be like, oh, I don't want to do any more this week. But I get that freedom, and that's the benefit of having that wealth title attached to being a business owner.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you just described that beautifully. That's the thing, because I think people worry about, how will I do this? Right, like, I'm working full time, I'm a mom, I'm this, I've got this going on, I've got that going on, and and like, I think sometimes we almost put that limitation on ourselves, right? Like, we are our own glass ceiling sometimes, and we forget we have a choice. And sometimes it is a little bit, isn't it, at the beginning, because you're developing the consciousness. And at the beginning, it can feel a little bit of like, well, do you know what? Like, it's almost like you have to make a decision of the belief in your dream has to be, the faith, sorry, in your dream. This mission is just going to have to be bigger than almost the faith you're placing in your fears, because they're two things you can't see. But it's almost like, which one do you want to believe in? Because there's this fabulous quote, which I'm probably going to misquote now, but I think it's along the lines of, fear knocked on the door, faith answered, and there was no one there. And I think that explains it beautifully, in that, yes, it's meditation, or you with your beautiful aromatherapy. I always love seeing when you do your stories about aromatherapy, or the candles. I'm doing my self-care, or like, it's whatever it takes to get you to that vibration, that frequency of gratitude and love and joy. And we obviously go into detail this in the program, but it's then the action you take from that version, and that is here right now. That is kind of what we mean by the consciousness. It's not this 10-year goal that's really far away. It's really funny because I'm an appraiser as well for doctors. So obviously goal setting is really hard for me when I'm an appraiser, because I have to make it smart, which is like, I just take out the realistic word, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I just can't do it. Like, if I talk about realistic, I feel like I need to have like a shower. Just so sturdy. And I'm like, because reality is using your mental faculty of perception, right? And your perception of something might be very different to my perception of something, but that is my reality, and that is your reality. And this thing is just this thing, this person, this event, this object, whatever. It's the meaning that we're giving to it. And it's the same thing for our business in the Creators Program. And it's the same thing for our life, which is a lifestyle program in our health, where we do deep emotional healing for your health, your physical health, as well as your relationships. But it's the same thing we do in the business. Yes, there's other strategies alongside, like I said, of going live and other strategies. But again, it's that belief. But there's practical strategies with that as well. So yeah, absolutely. Like, just what you think is realistic is going to be, it could be different a week from now, if you want it to be. Yeah. And that's not hard work, hustle, grind. It's actually going within more than going outside. And then when you're going live, you're just expressing that version of you. That's why it's so easy. Like, I see you sitting there and you're like chilling, and you're like got your tea, and I think I come on as well. And as in I love to watch it, because it says, Natasha, after going live in her group, is it empowered women, empowered business women, empowered women, and it's for business. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your business, about your coaching, your business, and
okay. So I think when I first met you, I was a self-love coach. And it was all about self-love and energy, but then that wasn't 100% me. I was like, I love self-love, but there's more to it. And then it morphed into the mindset side of everything. But then I was like, no, I need to dig deeper. And then when talking and going through everything, I'm like, no, I'm hitting on confidence. It's confidence that I'm trying to bring out in all these powerful women that hold themselves back. So in my group, I go live every now and again. I've started this tea with Tasha, which I need to be more consistent with, but it's coming, where we literally just brain dump everything, talk and get down to the nitty gritty. And it's just bringing that confidence out in the women who know that they deserve more and that they have more in them. But for some reason, they're holding themselves back. Because I did the same thing. I held myself back for so long. I ignored all of the signs that God was showing me to get into coaching. I ignored it for years until he physically stopped me in my tracks. And it came in the form of a car accident. And I had no choice but to stop and take off work for 4.5 months. And in that time, within the first week, every commercial I saw, wherever I was walking, I saw billboards and letters and everything was about coaching. And I was like, I get the message now. I get the message. So took the leap, joined my first program then. And then from then, it has been literally programs after programs, courses. And I'm not saying you have to constantly invest because it does get costly, but investing smartly and doing it from a place of alignment, knowing that it's going to get you somewhere. And like I said, some of these programs I've been in haven't been for me, but by being in them, it taught me what I don't want and what I don't want to do for my business. So I took all the good from every single situation. So becoming a confidence coach for women in business is just what it's what I was meant to do. It's what I was just put on this earth to do, just to get women to realize, look in that mirror and love every aspect of you. Don't just see the humps and the lumps and the bumps. Love every single corner of yourself and be able to look deeper and know that everything that you want to have in life, you can have it. And like you said, it's not about just playing in reality, because reality is a figment of our imagination. We have to play in the spiritual, because when you play in the spiritual, things can happen overnight and people look at you and be like, I don't get how you got from here to here. And you're like, I can't explain it. It happened because of God, because he put it in my journey, in my step. So, and you don't have to explain this to people, because so often we think we have to give an explanation of why we're doing this and how we're doing this, but we don't have to. God gave you that vision. He gave you that blessing, not other people, for a reason. So they can't see it, they can't understand it, but don't let their limiting beliefs stop you from aiming for your highest goal. And when they say, oh, aim for the stars, and if you don't, you can fall amongst it. No, we don't do that. There's no stars, there's no sky, there's no nothing. We go beyond that. We go above and beyond, and you can only do it by believing in yourself. And I'm just babbling on now. I'm so sorry.
No, you're babbling. This is
like, that's my TED talk.
As I told you, previously, I'm waiting for your podcast and your YouTube channel.
I know. I'm thinking about the podcast.
And this is what we teach in legacy creators, in how to set up your podcast, how to set up your YouTube, and also to do it in an easy way. You're not kind of re-recording everything, but yeah, it's another way of serving. Yes, it's also marketing as well. But again, it's the meaning you attach to it, like another way of serving, another way of delivering, another way of that ripple effect. And that was beautiful. Yeah, so exactly what you were saying in regard to, the accident, because I remember that's when we spoke, not then, but as in, I remember you were telling me about this before. And I would be interested to know, in retrospect, so not with guilt, but as in just with curiosity, in retrospect, what were the kind of the whispers, looking back, if you're like, oh, I can see that those are whispers from God or the universe of like.
So for years, I could walk into a bathroom, go into Asda and come out with 5 or 6 different people as friends. They would just randomly come up to me and start telling me their life story, opening up to me, asking for help and support, saying that this has happened in their life and they just felt the need to come and talk to me to help them. And I'm like, I'm only in here to get a couple of stuff. I'm only in here to have a pee. Why are people coming to me? I ignored it. I was like, nope. And then I would get people reaching out to me randomly from back in school or college or uni, and they'd be like, you know what, I've seen some of the stuff you're doing and I just wanted to talk to you about this, is what I'm going through, can you support me? And I'm like, that's not what I do. I'm just like to post what I want to post. I'm just posting for the fun of posting. And I was like, okay, I get it. It's always there's different signs. And I was like, okay. And one day I was sitting here, right here in this seat on the sofa, looking out the window. I was like, Tasha, just do it. What are you stopping yourself from doing? Just do it. And the same with writing the book. I've been trying to write a book for years.
Yes.
and I've still got the first original copy of it. And I'm like, why am I just not doing it? And then obviously, from me doing the Wealthy Warriors Legacy, I got the excess of doing the How to Become a Published Author, and that was amazing. And I got into that, and you taught me how to get out of my head and just write when and wherever I wanted to write. So if it came to me in the middle of the night, you were like, pick up your phone, just do a voice note. You've got it written down there, because I can be in the middle of a sentence and forget what I was saying. So when I have these thoughts pop up in the middle of the night, I'm like, oh, I remember in the morning, and I never do. So yeah, I started recording here and there. I'll be like, oh no, I'm in the shower, I've got something to say. I'll get my phone and start recording it. And then
Yeah, I
I
love
sat down in one day, because I wrote my book with my son in one day. It took me one day to write the book. Obviously, the rest of the process took a little bit longer getting, because it's a kid's book and it's got quite a lot of illustrations.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it took me a lot to get everything sorted with them and communicate with the people. So that's what really took the longest to get it out and published. Otherwise, the book was written in a day,
Yeah.
because I already had my notes here, there, and everywhere, knotted down and jotted down. I had to get it all together, pull it
Yeah.
into an order, and it was done, just done. And I was like, you've waited. I'm not
It's,
going to expose my age right now, but I waited how much years to do a book, and I wrote it in a day.
yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? And that is a continuity. That shows it's the consciousness, isn't it? It's not
Yeah.
hard work, like I had to stay up late and coffee and,
Yes.
it's actually, when you look back, you're like, so, actually, I mean, it's the same feeling when I do my tax return. like it took like half an hour. Like, why was I like, not wanting to do it? It's not dreading, but it's the again, it's the belief, it's the anticipation that, oh well, I want to do this thing,
Yeah.
but it's going to take so long, and a lot of these things, again, it's not even truth,
Yes.
especially if you've never even done it before. And also, we want to base it upon the experience we want to have, right? So I'm sure there are writers who they say they'll be writing their book and it's been like years, and it may be a different type of book, and so it's not a criticism, but for me, getting your like, everything you're saying is just so beautiful. So the fact that someone can have that in the form of a book, then when they haven't maybe had the pleasure of meeting this beautiful woman, and they're reading this book, and how amazing, like how transformative it is, and it doesn't even have to be that long, it could be like 50 pages long, right? Everything you said in written form, that is life transformative. Okay, that is transforming lives. And then the fact that they can then from that sort of find your free podcast, which will be there, and your YouTube channel, right? And then they're like, oh, and there's a Facebook group, and they see their tea with Tasha, and they're like, oh my gosh, Tasha's just coaching. And it's like, yes, it's a business, but it's this beautiful mission and beautiful different ways of serving, and people that we could not have possibly ever have met and helped as a doctor and a nurse with like our NMC and GMC UK registration license, which we might have been saying in a consultation to the parents and the children and thinking it, or our colleagues. So it's almost like, yes, we're learning new things with our coaching, and I'm always learning, like I'm learning more about chakra healing and therapy and other things which I'm kind of adding in. Like we've got embodiment sessions in the lifestyle program now that we do weekly, so deep intensive embodiment sessions. So we're always learning. But actually, a lot of these things are kind of just transferable skills from the job you're already doing, the bits of it that you love, and putting that into your service. And, we don't need certifications and things like that. That's almost another belief system as well. Often worse with doctors and nurses, because we feel like, I need my piece of paper to show my validation. Look, can I upload it to my appraisal? Because like it's a bit of a joke, but okay, fair enough. That's a competency-based, professions, which I get. But that can almost go into your psyche as well, of like, oh, I need to check this. And we think it's due diligence. We think we're being, like good and checking, and I'm going to ask everyone's opinion. But actually, it's a very masculine, not gender, but masculine way of doing things, versus the divine feminine or spiritual, being in spirit of trusting your intuition, which is a real thing, is your mental faculty. So when you were sitting there on the couch and like, Tasha, why don't you just do it? That was your higher self, your divine self, God, however you want to, whatever word works for you. But that was your intuition, right? But you then had the consciousness of like, okay, like, yeah, what actually I'm stopping me, like no one else is. And there will be a million other reasons, and probably that will come up as you do it, right? Because it feels a bit scary and exciting at the same time. But that's almost all those old belief systems, like trying to stop you because it thinks it's trying to help you. So that's why mindset and spirituality is so important, I think, alongside whether it's business or transforming your health or your relationship or whatever it is. You need that. So for me, it's like spirituality meets peak performance, meets business master, meets entrepreneurship, but also the deep healing, that sometimes comes up, of like past, because we have this version of us that maybe we've been told, or we think that, how could you do business, or what, really, you be a writer? Like I got like a D in my English mock exams, and to think that I'm now CEO of a publishing company, right, and #1 best-selling author, like there's no way. So that is nothing to do with my writing skills. Anyway, it's a best-selling book. It's not a best writing book, but what I'm saying is, it's not about that. It's about my thoughts about it. Do you see what I mean? How we can hold ourselves back. So, did you ever find that in business, or how did it help you overcome that side of it?
Yeah, I found a lot. The more you start doing the internal work, the more crap comes up. The more that hits you in the face, and the more you've got to face it and be like, and at times you want to run from it, but don't run from it. Face it, because when you face it, you get through it. A lot of things came up for me from it, rooted back to when I was 3 years old. Really? And I didn't know that this was stopping me from being me. And it all comes down to me and my sister, because she's my older sister, but I've always been the older one. Everyone comes to me. Nobody goes to her. Even she comes to me like on a day-to-day basis. I'm the older sister in spirit, but not in age. And it hit me from when I was 3 years old. It started then, when she never wanted me around in the first place. She loves me, but she didn't want me around. And I always had to dim myself so that she didn't feel bad. And I told myself this for years and years. And as I did the inner work and went deeper and deeper, I realized I'm not showing up 100% on camera the way I want to show up, because I'm still holding myself back, because I don't want to outshine my sister. And I was like, well, enough is enough now. That's not happening anymore. I'm not going to stop me from being who I want to be just because somebody else's feelings might get hurt. Because at the end of the day, my mission, my goal is not her goal. I may be ambitious, and she may not be. And I've got to love her for where she is. But not let her and her personality hold me back from what I can achieve, because I'm holding myself back from affecting and impacting other women's lives because of one little thing that's been going on from when I was 3 years old. I was like, no. So I decided to break that cycle. It was hard, but like you said, you have to heal, you have to release it, and you have to move the heck on. As hard as it sounds, it's all from a place of love. You have to move on. You can't keep using the same excuses to hold you back, because in the next 10 years, next 5 years, you'll be in the same position and wondering why you're not getting any further, because you knew you had something to deal with and you chose not to deal with it. So I chose to deal with it. So I've put my own limitations on my sister. She doesn't know about half of this, but I've put my own limitations on there. So instead of her phoning me 15, 20 times a day to talk about nothing important, I refuse to answer the phone call after 2 calls. She gets 2 calls a day. She's limited. And that is it. Like last night, she was phoning me. While I was on talking to my other friend, she's phoning me 7, 8 times. And I knew it wasn't important. It was about her daughter leaving her water bottle at school. I was like, you're not taking my energy for that. And I refuse to let you take my energy. And I study my power. And I replied to her this morning. And she's like, you didn't answer my call. I don't have to. I'm not obligated.
Absolutely.
And being able to have the confidence to say that now as being amazing. Whereas before, I felt like I had to answer. Every time she phoned, I had to answer. If it was 2 o'clock in the morning, I had to answer the phone. Now I'm like, no, turn that on silent. It's me time. It's not about anybody else but me. So if you have any of these issues that come up as you dig deeper, to every single one of you, make sure you face it. Don't run from it. Face it. Because when you run, it's going to chase you. It's not going to leave you. It's attached to you. It's part of you. It will. You can run to Timbuktu and it's going to be right there with you. So you need to turn around, face it, and shut it down and move past it. And no, it's not going to be easy, especially when it's family members. It can be so hard. It can be distraughting. It can make you want to break down and cry. Cry. Get it out. Cry. Don't hold your emotions back. Feel the emotions and then work through it. Put small boundaries in place at first and then build those boundaries. And That confidence just comes, it comes once you've done it, once you do the small steps. Like, yes, I'm a confidence coach, but it's not just about confidence, it's about the little steps first. You can't just wake up and go, I'm going to be confident. That's a whole lot of rubbish. It doesn't
Yeah,
happen like that. It takes so much longer to build that confidence. The
yeah,
daily work you have to do to change up here, that's where the power comes from. So make sure you face it. Everyone, I'm going to say it again. I'll repeat everything because repetition gets it into the mind. Make sure you do not run from any issues that come up as you do your internal work. Face it and own it and become empowered from it. That's my other TED talk for the day.
absolutely. See the podcast, it's like it's just already started recording itself. But this is what I'm saying, you know, because it's just you being you. That's the
Yeah,
beauty of why I called it Wealthy Warrior, because the warrior is exactly what you're saying. So this, for me, that's the archetype that I imagine, like actually like Wonder Woman. Actually, it was my 3-year-old's birthday party the other day, and I actually went as Wonder Woman. I was like, it's fancy dress because you know it's for the children.
yeah,
It's for the children. But I was like, yeah, it's Wonder Woman, and I was like, this is my archetype because it's resilience, it's strength, it's courage. But what is courage? It's feeling the fear, it's feeling all the emotions, but you don't resist it, because what you resist, exactly as you said, it just gets louder, right? Like my toddlers. It just gets louder. So actually, you want to face it. And what does fear stand for? It's face everything and rise. And that's why my logo is a phoenix, right? Because we are not even rising, we are phoenix risen.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's phoenix risen, it's done and dusted. But it is a consciousness as well as the actions, which I think is beautiful. Healthy boundaries, and actually this is helping, for you, it's your sister, for some people, it's somebody else. It's the same thing, it's just manifesting in a different form. And actually it's helping them, whether they realize it or not, or in this lifetime or not. It is, because you are leading by example. They sometimes don't even realize what they're doing. Most of the time, sometimes they do, but most of them they don't actually realize, and they're kind of gone into victim mode. And you're actually, therefore, by default, the victor, and they've gone into worrying mode, which means you are the warrior, right? And sometimes they haven't seen that before,
yeah,
like in a real form, in something that they would actually listen to, which is their own sister or something else. It's not this like, Oprah Winfrey, something that feels far away. It's like right in their face. And it's sort of like, oh, and people don't like the change initially, right? They don't like it when somebody's rising up, not because sometimes they don't want you to, but it's more, most of the time people are worried about themselves. And it's more because it's just shining a light on their own insecurities.
yeah,
Me rising up is showing like, oh, well, how come I can't do that? What they can, but they still have the consciousness of lack and limitation, whether it's to do with money, scarcity mindset, or their confidence, or in their relationships, or whatever. And that's why people say things like, who does she think she is? And then we say, I'm my divine self. Thank you very much. But it's because the fact that people even ask certain questions or things like that, it just shows where they are in the consciousness. And this isn't about being better or worse. It's not meant in that way. It's already there. It's an awareness journey. So actually you're helping those other people, because they need to see what does assertiveness and healthy boundaries look like, because likely they are on the receiving end of the same thing from somebody else, or in some different form. Maybe it's at work, maybe it's from their own kids or whatever. And this is why people have generational patterns. So for me, the way my mission is, healing generational trauma and issues, and creating generational wealth myself, and my beautiful clients like yourself as well. So it's a beautiful ripple effect, right? And with our own unique gifts, so you're saying it in your way and I'm saying it in slightly different, but it may be the same message, but different people are going to hear it in a different way, right? Some people may be like, oh yeah, like doctors, they have maybe a paradigm around the whole doctors nurses thing, and so some people may feel like, well, she gets it because she's a nurse, right? Or she may get it because of her ethnicity, and it may be nothing to do with that, but they have some thing that's happened that makes them feel like they haven't achieved certain things or opportunities, and it's been because of ethnicity or because of their job role or because of this or whatever that. And then we start to attach so much meaning to it that it starts to not become empowering. It starts to go the other way.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of this. So it's a warrior, but it's wealth, and it's wealthy warriors. So it's the wealthy is, yes, the bank account, but it's the wealth consciousness, which for me means the spirituality side. But it is in the health, the wealth, and the relationships as well. So just before we close, I wanted you to tell me a little bit about just how are you finding the coaching business? And I've seen all these beautiful testimonials on your story, which made me just so happy. And just people just raving about their beautiful, sessions that they've had with you in the all coaching program. So just, I just want to know, like, how is it going now? And also what is next for Natasha Archer?
How is it now? It's going good. I am a whole different coach. I practice while I preach. I live more in integrity now, whereas before I would just say, this is the steps you have to take, but then wasn't doing it myself. So now I've faced that, and I do take the aligned action as well. And I'm in this with my clients. I don't just say you have to do X, Y, and Z. No, I'm along with you, and that's why I only do limiting one-to-one amount of spots with my coaching, because I like to get hands-on and personal with my clients so that they know that they can reach out to me. I'm not for everybody, and I don't want to be for everybody. So I don't want to spread myself too thin and not honor my own space and my own energy. So I limit my coaching spots at the moment, and I allow people in who I know we can work together. We're a perfect fit. We have that energy, and then we get them to their next level. I should be going live in my group hopefully soon with one of my clients, and talking about how she's got her croc business up and going, and she blings out crocs. It's amazing, like really, really good. And I've supported her through every single step of it, and it's just amazing looking at where she was to where she is. She's also a nurse, so it's like seeing her rise from that, being stuck in that nursing title. She's rise from that, and it's amazing. And like you said, there's so much testimonials that are coming through, and there's people who are just randomly messaging me. I had a random message the other day saying, from someone I haven't even worked with, literally just saying, I have to say, you are just amazing. I just love the things you're doing, everything you're putting out. I was like, oh, thank you. I was like, oh, I'm being seen. So even when you don't think you're not being seen, you are being seen.
Yes.
And I put out a post the other day about at every next level, there's going to be new challenges, new imposter syndrome coming in. But like I said, face it and go through, because on the other side, it's amazing. What is coming next for me, I have no idea, but I'm rolling with the punches and I'm going to go for it. This podcast may be coming out.
Yes.
Watch this space.
Yeah.
Watch this space. And I do want to start doing a lot more group coaching, because then I can be available for a lot more people. But like I said, watch this space. You never know what's coming next.
Absolutely, yes. And your next
book should be coming out soon.
I was going to say, book number 2, and that's on self. Why don't you tell us about the book?
Yeah, that's on self-love and confidence, and some of my backstory of becoming a single mother and having to find myself again, because I completely became just a mother, just a daughter, forgot about Natasha completely. She disappeared, and how I found Natasha back, and now she's not going back into hiding at all. It should be coming out soon. I have literally... You can tell when you're at that next level, because everything in their power tries to shut you down. So I've had no laptop. Then they've wiped everything off my laptop. So my Microsoft 365 has disappeared. So I can't even write anything at the moment. So like I said, all these new challenges come in, but it's not phasing me at all. I'm still recording every single thing I want to write in my book onto my phone. So I've got everything written. I'm just waiting for the laptop to get back into action, and then it'll be out.
And what's this? And notes,
lots of notes. And if you do ever want to look for my children's book in my son, it is called Dinosaur, but it's Dino SAW, because the dino was able to see by the end of it. It was such a play on words. I was like, even that came to me in a dream. That name was funny. I was like, oh, dinosaur. Oh, I like that. Oh, and it's
that's your intuition, right? And spirit coming through you, literally. So and it's a beautiful way of again, that message for children. Like, I know it's about the dinosaur that goes to the opticians, right? Yes. That was really good to my son the other day. And I just thought that was so beautiful, that this idea I once had about writing a book, and I set up my publishing company to just because I just don't want to get to literary agents and do all that and self-publishing. I was like, I'd love to help other women, and this is what the logo looks like. It's like an empowered woman. It's like Athena, and I just all these dreams. I have other people, and they'll make a book, and it'll be like this, and all these things. And then just when I was reading your book to my son the other day, I was like, oh my god, this is manifestation. This is how it works, right? It starts with the mind, which is, people might say, oh, it was in a dream, or that might be silly, or how could you do that? But are you going to follow it and then literally create the reality that you desire, or, realize it, or, how we look at manifestation? Or are you just going to be like, oh, well, that's just a silly thought, right? Carry on. Let's go back to the job, or back to whatever it is you're doing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having a job, but that's the problem. People aren't actually following their own intuition. And so you're actually living someone else's dream and definition of success and happiness and good marriage and whatever that looks like to them. But what about your own? It is our birthright to have it all. It really is. And then to offer that as a service, right? Which is what you're doing, right? So how empowering for other women who may have been in that position before and feeling like it's, oh, I'm a single mother and how am I going to do this? And then to have you as their role model is phenomenal, right? That's what they're looking for. That's what they need, that they can actually be their own heroine. But until they realize that they've got Natasha. So thank you so much for joining. Sorry, it was definitely way more than 15 minutes.
That is fine. Thank you for having me.
You're having so much fun. But so the program Natasha's talking about is Wealthy Warrior Legacy Creators. That is a 6-month program. So I'll post a link. That'll be in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube or wherever you're watching this. So that's a 6-month program. There's also Wealthy Warrior Lifestyle Program. So that is all now deep, transformational, personal and spiritual growth in your health, wealth and relationships. And there's intensive embodiment sessions for that as well, as a group. There is a year-long as well, which I would strongly advise, which is all of the programs all together. And for that, you get monthly one-to-one deep embodiment sessions as well. So that includes meditation and chakra healing and hypnosis and just all this juicy stuff. And then she also talked about the How to Become a Published Author program. And I've now had 2 clients who became published authors within a day. So just, it's phenomenal. And these are beautiful books about confidence, clarity, children's books. One lady whose husband unfortunately passed away a month ago, but the growth and the meaning she has attached to it, still honoring her feelings and becoming a published author in that time, has been phenomenal. So it's a beautiful book all about grief, and it's a workbook on how to transmute that and work through those emotions. So it's just, you can take whatever it is that you once thought was a struggle and transmute that differently through the program, and have this beautiful manifestation that can actually help other people. I think it's just such a beautiful way to serve, and then turn that into a coaching program and or online service, everything that we discuss in the program. So, and you can reach. So how do people reach out to you, Natasha?
You can DM me, you can join my group, which is Empowered Womanpreneurs. Drop me a message. I'm around. I'm on Instagram at natasha.coaching. I'm a bit of everywhere right now and I'm loving it. So yeah, reach out to me. If you need any help or support with your confidence in being a powerful CEO within your business, I'm here to help.
Beautiful. Okay, we'll make sure we get those tags and those links. So just send me a message and we'll make sure that's all tagged. But thank you so much, everybody. So for me, if you want to reach out, just again the same thing. You can send me a message on Facebook Messenger, or you can just go to the Wealthy Warriors Facebook group, and normally all the links are already there, like pinned to the top, so you can just click and just enroll and get started, because now is the best time. This is the best time to go within, especially if things on the outside are looking hairy and scary. This is actually the best time to do this. So sending you all so much love and light. Thank you so much. I'm going to end the recording now, then I'll just do a quick little goodbye to Natasha. But thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you. Take care.